I want to start by teaching you how to give your mind a diet. Now, I know you've probably never heard that expression, and it's because you don't think of your mind or your brain as an organ. But it is. It's an organ just like the other ones, stomach, heart. And there is a way that you can control it. There's actually a necessity for you to control your mind and stop it from ruining your moods and possibly your whole life. See, the brain or your mind is just another organ that needs to be controlled. Your stomach just wants to eat all day and taste the best foods. Your eyes want to see beautiful things. Your ears want to hear beautiful things. You want to sense beautiful things. All these sensory organs in your body, if they could, let's say the stomach, it would eat delicious foods all day. It doesn't know how to control itself. It's up to you, the master of the body, to control that organ, because if you let it do what it wants, which is usually just eat a lot of food, junk food, good tasting food that may be not good for you. If you allow that to happen, obviously you're going to have problems with weight and general health and moods. So you learn as you grow up that you need to control the stomach and how to say no to it and how to filter out the bad things for your body that make you feel bad. Your stomach feels good momentarily, but your body is going to have negative effects. And so you learn as we grow that we have to control the urges of the body. The eyes can't just see beautiful things all the time. They need to do other things. The tongue can't taste delicious things all the time. You have things to do. We have lives to live. And you can't just let your sensory organs have whatever they want. So as we grow up, we learn that all these organs, all these senses have to be controlled by you. Otherwise, you're going to have negative effects. But our world hasn't reached a place of wisdom where it will think of its mind as not only an organ like the rest, but the most important organ, and that your mind needs to be put on a diet. That's right. You cannot feed it full of junk thoughts any more than you can feed your stomach junk foods, because there are negative repercussions. Think of your mind as an organ and think of the thoughts as foods that pass through that organ. And think of yourself as having the ability, because you do, having the ability to control what passes through your mind organ, the thoughts that pass through your mind. Now, this might sound new to a lot of people just because we don't think of the mind that way. We're not taught that we can control the thoughts, that we should control the thoughts so that our mind can be in a state of alertness and calmness and functionality. So we just allow any random thought, any emotion, all these to just flow freely through our mind and wreck our moods, our relationships, and our lives, and our societies. So, for today, I want you to start thinking about your mind in a different way. I want you to think about it as an organ that you want to put on a diet of healthy food, which means good, positive, healthy thoughts, because that is going to change your mood the same way that eating good, delicious, healthy, nutritional food will give you a sense of peace and health, because you haven't fed your stomach a lot of garbage that it now has to process and waste a lot of effort and energy in doing so. We don't want our minds to be cluttered with junk thoughts. And the point of this exercise is to help you control your mind and therefore, through that, to control your mood and come to a place where you can actually be in a state where you can have good, rational thoughts or thought processes. When you're thinking about something and trying to decide something, if your mind isn't clear, if it's full of clutter, if it's full of negative thoughts about what your boss said to you, or what your wife said to you, what your children did, what that person in the store did to upset you, all these become a part of your daily thoughts. And as you try to process them, because you don't understand that you can control, that you must control what goes through your mind if you want to have a healthy mind, then you can't really think straight in the first place. There are just too many distractions. So what we want to do is get you into a piece of calmness where you are paying attention to your mental status and to the thoughts that are bouncing around in your head. And I want you to start questioning why they're there, why you allow them to stay there and ruin your mood and ruin your day. You can't really think straight or think constructively unless your thoughts are being processed in a calm, functional mind. Now, the Indians talk about the mind like it's some kind of a monkey. It's just jumping around, and they say you have to control it. There are some techniques with meditation that are very effective. And this is not meditation like maybe you've heard about, where you're just trying to have no thoughts. This kind of meditation is really more like mind control, exercising control over that organ in your head the same way that you spend so much time and effort in controlling your stomach, making sure your heart is in good shape, making sure your liver is healthy, making sure your blood is oxygenated. All of these things that you're already doing for the rest of your body, Western civilization and really the whole world, just when it comes to the mind, it's like they just blank on it. Well, if you're doing all these things, if you're spending all this time and effort in improving your body and keeping it healthy, getting away from junk food, eating only good food, all that work, and you're avoiding or ignoring the most important organ in your body, your mind. What are these exercises? I'm going to teach you a couple of them within a few days. You're going to get going. It's really not that hard. The first thing to do is to realize that the mind is something that can be and should be controlled. That the thoughts that are coming in and out are doing so because the door to your mind is left wide open because you don't even know how to control that door. You don't know that you can shut that door or at least stop harmful negative thoughts to just come into that room in your mind and disturb you and create all kinds of conflict and pain in your life and the lives of those around you. First thing I want you to do is we're going to start with the eyes. You're going to be surprised at how jumpy your eyes are and how they're so resistant to being controlled. Draw a dot, a black dot, on a piece of paper, let's say size of a quarter. Just black it out, the size of a quarter, put it on a white piece of paper, and tape that piece of paper at eye level about 6 to 10 feet away from you. If you're sitting, make sure that it's lower so that it's at eye level. We want your head to stay straight. You don't need to be in some kind of a weird body contortion. You can sit down on a regular chair. It makes no difference. What we want to do is to have a situation where you can sit down for a few minutes and just go inside without your body constantly distracting you because it's uncomfortable. So get comfortable. Keep your back straight. Imagine if there's a pole, a metal pole going through from your head straight down to your spine in a straight line. So straighten out your body as if there's a pole going from the top of your head down to your spine. And what this is for is to balance your weight so that you can spend a few minutes without your body slumping, falling forward or back, or hurting you because you're uncomfortable. Put that paper in front of you, 6 to 10 feet away. Tape it on the wall at eye level. Once you're comfortable and you can sit down without having to move, I want you to look at that dot and keep your eyes on it. And the first thing you're going to notice is that your eyes will not want to stay on it. They want to dart around. It's going to jump. It's going to jump this way and that way. I want you to slowly, calmly bring your eyes back to the dot and fixate on it. Now you do that again and again until you have some measure of control over your eyes. And this is really just a preparatory step to show you how your senses and your organs like to disobey you and like to do their own thing, and how you have to exert control for them to do what you want. You have to become a master of your senses, of your body, and eventually your mind. The mind really is very difficult to control. But for now, you've learned how to keep your eyes on that dot and do it for a good 5, 10, 15 minutes. Do it over and over again until you're confident that you can keep your eyes locked on that dot. Once you learn how to do that, I want you to keep your eyes open. Don't blink while you do the same thing, as long as you can. This, again, is just a matter of keeping you in a place where you have to learn how to control the function of your sensory organs. Once you've mastered that, we're going to go to the next level. And this is where it gets really interesting. Now I want you to sit in the same fashion. When you're calm, take some deep breaths through your nostrils, fill up your lungs, hold it, and then gently breathe out through your mouth until you feel that your mind is starting to relax. Keep your body straight and in the same position as before, so you can sit there like that for a few minutes without having to move or get distracted. Now, close your eyes this time, and I want you to pay attention to the thoughts that are going through your mind. So basically, you're going to have a helicopter perspective. It's as if you're looking at your mind from the top, and all you're doing is listening or paying attention to the thoughts that are going through your mind. It's going to be maybe something you've never tried before. It's not that difficult. Well, what's going to happen is you're going to see, just like your eyes resisted being controlled, your mind is also going to resist being controlled. Because instead of looking at the thoughts, let's say from the outside, you're going to see that as these thoughts come and go, they're going to take you with them on a ride. So instead of being able to just look at those or hear those thoughts from the outside, you're going to get involved with those thoughts, and they're going to give you the emotions that come along with those thoughts. So while you're sitting there and you're listening to your thoughts, maybe a thought will come in about what your mom said that bothered you, and whoop, there you go. You went off on that thought, and now you're thinking about what you should say to her and how it hurt you, and etc., etc. You get involved with the thoughts. The point of this exercise was to stop getting involved with your thoughts. Just see them as what they are. Like food that goes through your stomach, these thoughts go through your mind. And what we want to do is eventually clean those thoughts so you have a healthy diet for your mind. What that means is that You go back again and again as your mind refuses to listen, and as you keep forgetting that you're supposed to only be aware of the thoughts and listen to them objectively from the outside without getting involved. You're going to see that you're going to continually go with different thoughts. It's okay. You don't get upset. Just gently bring your attention back. After you get some kind of a mastery over that, where you cannot get involved with every random thought that comes in your mind and identify with them, you're going to pluck out the negative thoughts. Think of the thoughts that go through your mind as a river with a lot of clutter in it. What we want is a clean, flowing river without any garbage in there. So you're not going to stop thoughts. You cannot stop thoughts. What we want to do is to have some kind of control over what kind of thoughts we allow into our mind, and a control of sensing, being able to pick up on these negative thoughts that have no basis on reality usually, to stop coming in and causing disturbance in your well-being, in your composure. Nobody needs that. We want to have a calm mind that is free from negativity and ill thoughts. So again, we're going to listen to the thoughts without getting involved. And when you sense that some kind of a dark thought that is negative or harmful to anything or anyone, any kind of negativity, when those come in your mind, I want you to gently pluck them out like you're plucking out a piece of garbage out of a river, and take them out. And that's why you have all these people with mental health issues, ego issues, anger issues, and all kinds of mental health problems that they can't get rid of because they never mastered their mind. They were never taught how to control their thoughts, how to clean up their thoughts. So what's going to happen as you do this and as you get better at this, and you should do this at least 20 minutes a day, what you're doing is you're cleaning up your mind. You're putting your mind on a diet. No junk food. That means no junk thoughts. No junk thoughts. No harmful thoughts. No thoughts that will go in and ruin your day, just like if you eat a piece of junk food, it's going to ruin your health. What this is going to do after you gain some kind of mastery over this is you're going to experience a kind of peace and calmness that perhaps you've never felt before. And you will become addicted to that feeling, and you'll want more and more of it. And because of that, as you go through life in your day, and remember this meditation, or this, I wouldn't really even call this meditation. This is really just the ability to control your mind and the thoughts that are in it, to clean it as much as possible. Once you become accustomed to it, you're not going to want to lose it. But more than that, when these harmful thoughts come into your mind as your day progresses, you're going to pick up on it now. You're going to realize it because it's going to trigger, just like you eat some really bad, unhealthy food, that's going to trigger a reaction in your body, right? You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel moody. You're just not going to feel good. Well, these thoughts work exactly the same way. They go in and they disturb you, and you can pick up on it. And as you start to be able to pick up on it, you'll realize how important it is to not allow them to come into your mind. Just like you understood how important it is not to eat that piece of junk food that tastes really good, but it's going to make you feel bad for the next 4 hours. That's all this is. It's really not that big of a deal. Nobody's taught us this stuff, but it's so common sense. The amount of time and effort that people spend on their bodies every day in the modern world, especially in the West, is just mind-boggling. And when you think that none of that goes towards maintaining a healthy mind, you see that humanity has a long way to go. So in our little safe place here, we're going to learn how to do it. I can tell you from my own experience that once your mind gets a taste of that sort of peace and calmness, because as you learn how to do this, and as you learn how to weed out the negative stuff, how to stop them from coming in your mind, how to gently remove them. Remember, don't get angry. You will keep going along with your thoughts on their journey to wherever they're going. We're going to slowly learn how not to do that. And as your mind gets clearer, as the thoughts become cleaner, better, more positive, more beneficial, your mind is going to reach an optimal state, just the way that your stomach and your digestive organs will reach an optimal state when you feed them only good nutritional food. You're going to feed your mind only good nutritional thoughts that are based on reality, that are not filled with negativity. You're going to learn how to keep it out. And the more you learn how to do that, the more you're going to fall in love with the peace and tranquility that surpasses understanding. You're going to love having that composure, that control, where you can actually direct how you feel, where you can stop those negative emotions to come and ruin you and the mood of everybody around you. You must learn to control your mind. And once you do, you're going to reach that optimal state, and your mind is going to feel much more functional, much more healthy, no negative moods, no headaches, none of the things that bog you down and make you just want to sit down and cry. Those things will go away. And as you get better in this, and you do need to practice, this is not something that's going to happen overnight, but it's not going to take weeks or months either. You will see the difference in just the first few days. First with the eyes, and next with your mind. Close your eyes, make sure it's quiet, go in, listen, pluck out the negative things. Stay in a state of awareness where you're just standing there looking at this room in your mind and you're not allowing any garbage to come in. Eventually, you're going to take that with you outside, to your job, to your drive, to your relationships, to all facets of your life. You're going to feel the pain that comes from those evil thoughts and emotions. You're going to pick up on it a lot faster. Whereas before, you didn't even know they existed. You didn't even know it's something that can be controlled. So the river of thoughts in your mind was full of garbage. Your mind was completely distracted, which stopped you from being able to think in the first place, or think clearly. And people around you will see a change in you. Because whereas before you went along with every negative thing that happened, with every negative thing that came in your mind, and you reacted accordingly, now you're willing to absorb that, gently pluck it out, and not let it disturb you. That is going to have a profound effect on your life, I promise you. Remember, as you're doing this exercise, don't forget to ask for help. There's always a factor in our lives that most people never even consider. As you're doing this, ask the Creator to help you through that process, to feed more positive, beneficial thoughts into your mind, to stop those negative things from being able to control you instead of you being able to control them.